Hi everybody, Neil here from Some Dynamics. So I just want to point out a couple of issues I've had in the past, and I've alluded to them through some of my other videos. And I just want to make sure you understand and try and prevent those issues at all, to make it easier for you going forward. So I'm first going to explain on the one with the um, extrusion, or the 3D printed base actuator, and then I will go through the extrusion one as well and see how I fix that. So on this one, I'm going to just put this. So this is your slider, and your worm gear then fits into that. And you see, I cut it out like that for to fit on the new sleeve there. So I'm just going to put two screws in just to prove a point there. So when you do put those screws in, please make sure that once you put in this one, you will use 4 screws, so it's as the same as on the other one. So let me just get it to catch there. There you go. Okay. So once you tighten it up, right, make sure that there is no gap between the plastic and the worm gear nut, right? And tighten it up well enough so that you can see no gap in between there. Because if you have a gap on one side, obviously then things are not lining up the way that it should. So as I said, the leg that I made for this is I bought the pipe. I did not have the right size. It was, a little bit too thick on the inside as well as on the outside. So I had to sort of, limited tools. I used my grinder to grind it down, which was a mistake. So now, if you put that in there, right, so this leg fits in there. Obviously, once it's now fit inside there, then the leg fits inside there. And, once this leg then moves up and down, you can see this thing now, the leg goes up and down. Okay. The problem that it created was the following. So, like I say, not being precision. Now, if you look at that movement there, right, which caused a problem. So when the rig is now standing, it's got a rounded foot at the bottom here. When the rig is now standing on it and it moves back and forth, this will do that while it's in motion, right? And with a weight of myself, with the other rig on top of that, that obviously created quite a bit of a problem inside the actuator. So as I showed before, there you can see the kind of issue that it causes with the bush that it goes through, plastic printed bush that it goes through at the bottom, right? So, like I say, when I then did the new one, I made sure that everything is a very good fit. And to get that, you just have to be precise in, making sure everything is there. So put that one aside. Now this one, I said you see, it fits nice and tight in there. Make sure that it fits over and that the grooves now all aligns up there, as you can see, as it will fit inside there. Again, I'm just going to put 2 screws in for the purpose of the demonstration. Okay. Again, yeah, same thing as on the other one. Make sure that there's no gap between the metal and the plastic so that it all lines up nice and tight. Now, the new pipe, as I said, much smoother. Now, as you also see, when I fit it in there, it's a much tighter fit. So there is no movement. It only moves up and down as the worm wheel moves up and down, right? There is no sideways movement in that. So I made sure that now there is no room for play and it cannot go anywhere. So now if you put it through here, and that moves up and down in there, you will see that there is no possibility of side movement. So the rig will do that, and obviously with a rounded foot at the bottom, will move back and forth. As this one goes up, the front goes down, it will do that, but there is no side movement on this thing whatsoever. And especially with the bush in place at the bottom as well, and the bush being slightly longer, it also prevents it from doing any sort of side slap where it can actually start wearing the plastic out there. Like I say, it's a very tight fit there. It fits much better. And I had no issues so far with regards to the wearing and tearing of the bush on the inside. And it's not a very thick one. It's about 7 millimeters thick on the outside there. So no issues so far. It just moved smoothly in there. And again, as I said before, please utilize the lithium grease. That also makes things move out. Did it also on the old one, as you could see there was some grease, but because of that roughness of that pipe and a little bit of a slight slap that it had when it was moving, it created quite an issue on the actuator itself. It never broke. It just, it was creaking, and I could never find out why is it the creaking noise when it's moving. Not short moves. On the longer moves, you could hear the creak. On the short ones, it was quiet, but the problem was there all along. So please be aware not to make that mistake, and it'll be so much easier. Thank you.